everybody, leepinlepin here. How are you guys today? I'm doing just fine. Kinda. My knee fell out. In fact, it's a problem I've lived with all my life, but that's okay. We're not talking about my knees today. We are talking about my knees, not my niece, my knees. We're talking about this right here. Yes, this is a Harrington Richardson model 922 9-shot 22 long rifle, long barreled pistol from 1976-ish, maybe 77. Harrington and Richardson, what can I say about them? They made cheap firearms. They were cheap. They were cheap for a very, 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 very long time. Many people liked them. They also had military contracts. In fact, before we get into this gun, let me give you a little bit of a history lesson. Don't know much about history. Hey, it's non-copyrighted, what do you expect? The history lesson. The original H&R firm was in business for over a century from 1871 to 1986. Gee, what else happened in 1986? Oh yeah, the GCA. Frank Wesson, brother of Daniel B. Wesson, who co-founded Smith & Wesson, started a firearms manufacturing firm in 1859, quite a few years ago. Sharing an early patent with Nathan Harrington, Wesson produced 2 trigger rifles and spur trigger pistols. I'm guessing a spur trigger pistol. No, wait, no, a spur trigger pistol. Here's a picture of one, if I can find it. If I find it, there it is. If not, oh well. And pocket rifle shotguns, popular for short-length holsters, made short-length holster models such as the discontinued Topper compact pocket shotgun. That is a mouthful. That's what she said. He started a brief partnership in 1871 with Harrington's nephew, Gilbert Henderson Harrington, as Wesson and Harrington, until Harrington bought him out in 1874. In the year of our Lord 1875, Harrington and another former Wesson employee, William Augustus Richardson, formed the new Harrington Richardson Company. In 1888, the firm was incorporated as the Harrington Richardson Arms. In the 1960s, H&R was acquired by the Kidde Corporation, Kidde. That would not go very well today. It probably would, but then people would be like, oh, look, I'm getting guns against. Anyway. And run by the Rowe family. Warranty cards were sent to Industrial Rowe. R-O-W-E. Ha ha ha. That's almost like putting M-A-L-E on your mailbox. Funny, sarcastic, love it. Gardner, Massachusetts. Industrial Row, Gardner, Massachusetts. The original H&R Company went out of business in 1986, and the building was demolished. A new company, H&R 1871 Inc., was formed in 1991 and started production of revolvers, single-shot rifles, and shotguns using original H&R designs. H&R 1871 Incorporated assets were subsequently sold to H&R 1871 LLC, a Connecticut LLC, which means limited liability company, owned by Maryland. Let's try this again. A Connecticut LLC, owned by Marlin Firearms Company in November of 2000. H&R 1871 LLC did not extend their product warranty to H&R guns made prior to the LLC's takeover. Basically, the new Harrington Richardson was not responsible for the old Harrington Richardson. Kind of like what GM did with new GM and old GM. Some of you remember that. Some of you remember it very well. Many people have bad memories of it. Marlin, including all of its H&R assets, was later acquired by Remington Arms Company in December of 2007. I remember that. H&R 1871 LLC production was moved to Lyon, New York, the site of Remington's original manufacturing plant. In late 2008, while their corporate offices are co-located with the Remington Arms in Madison, North Carolina. Remington, along with its Marlin and H&R subsidiaries, are now part of the Remington Outdoor Company. H&R 1871 production ceased on the 27th of February 2015. In the bankruptcy auction of Remington Outdoor Company, yes, Remington went bankrupt. Who'd have thunk it? The company was sold to JJE Capital Holdings, LLC. That is a mouthful. This sale, however, still needs court approval. JJE currently owns several firearm manufacturing companies, including Leadstar Arms and Palmetto State Armory. Harrington and Richardson made many military arms in the years prior, including flare guns during World War I, and a variety of military firearms during World War II, including the Ricing machine gun, yes, and a .22 caliber training rifle for the USMC called the Leatherneck. They even were granted a contract to produce M1 rifles. H&R was also the exclusive manufacturer of the U.S. test version of the FNFAL, designated the T-48. In the trials to select a replacement service rifle for the M1 Garand, which that's what it was for. The T-48 was basically a trial to replace the M1. Instead, they went with the M14. We all know how that went. And, of course, due to their relative scarcity, all H&R military weapons are considered highly desirable. They also have handcuff patents, which is interesting. But, back to the Model 922. This thing. This here was purchased by my father from a farmer back in the 70s. No, 80s. I'm sorry, 80s. Before you actually had to go to an FFL to do all that. Well, it was a private transfer, so I guess you didn't have to back then. I think even now you still can. But anyway, my father purchased this from a farmer back in the 80s. And he used it to, shall we say, persuade raccoons to skedaddle. And protection of crops, basically. It is a 9-shot 22. Of course, I will demonstrate that this is empty. To take the cylinder out, because see, this does not flip open like your typical revolver would. Okay? Like this Taurus. Alright, this is that snubby. See how that opens out just like that? Great, wonderful. It's empty, wonderful, safe. This, however, does not flip open. Instead, what you have to do, you got a little button here. Push that button in. Hold the cylinder. Pull out the pin. Drop the cylinder. And the cylinder is out of the firearm. Very, very easy. 9-shot. And in order to extract these shells, you could tap it on the table or whatever surface, or you use this. One at a time. Just imagine you're in a firefight, the fight of your life, and you got to do this. Oh, heavens. Well, that would be tedious. And very, very inconvenient. This is a single action, double action. Once again, single action, you pull the hammer back, you pull the trigger, you fire the firearm. Okay? Double action, you pull the trigger, there's no bullets in it, it's safe. It pulls the hammer back for you and fires the weapon. So, here, look here. H&R Inc., Gardner, Massachusetts. Pretty neat, huh? Here's the 922 label. 22LR, made in USA, not USA, China. Yes, that was a thing. Harrington Richardson on the very plastic grip. There's your sight. Which this sight on this, it's not good. See if we can line this up and focus it. Okay, there we go. Do you see a problem? I see a problem. Come on, focus again. You can do it. I know you can. I see a problem with that front sight. Back sight's okay, excuse me. But the front sight, these are just a tad bit canted. And since the front sight on this is just a tad bit canted, you can even kind of see it here. Just slightly warped. Oh yeah. Actually, the bore on this is perfect shape. I don't know how I'm going to do this. We'll figure out a way. The bore is in really good shape. May need just a little bit of clean, but that's it. Yeah. Since the sight on this is canted, she ain't accurate. In fact, it's wildly inaccurate. I wonder if I could demonstrate. You know what? Be right back. Imagine, if you will, this being one of those big targets that I forgot what they're called. I'll put it up here. Anyway, this would be almost an accurate representation of the accuracy of this 922. It's all over the place, and I would be aiming, of course, as nature would have it. Right here. Yeah. That's just how bad the accuracy is with that canted sight. And, of course, they also all go to the left. I didn't put that in there. I should have. But anyway. Highly inaccurate. So right now, since that sight is the way it is, and since Harrington and Richardson is no longer in service, and I don't know if Numeric would probably have, possibly, parts for it. This is basically just a novelty piece. This does have a manual safety that comes up, which is good. The interior of this is exactly like this. It has a spring instead of an actual spring, a coil spring instead of a leaf spring. And of course it has been oiled up, it's been taken care of, it's just can't shoot straight. Now, one way that you can find out about the year of manufacture, if you look at your serial number, AP is 1976. I will post in the description a link to a forum that describes the the date links on these old 922 Harrington and Richardsons. Now, Harrington and Richardson not only made pistols, they made shotguns, stuff like that. Pump shotguns, single shot shotguns, shot rifles, single shot rifles. There we go. I finally got it out. They made target pistols. One of them won a national championship in 1932. It was all the rave for a while. So these were actually fairly decent firearms at one point. They were cheap. Showing here is ad, and here is the inflation numbers for that. Around $230, $240. These would retail now if they were back in production. But other than that, I guess really that's all I got for you on this old 922. So this has been Leapin' Lepin'. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Of course, if you do subscribe, make sure to ring that bell to get notifications whenever I upload a new video. This is Leapin' Lepin'. I'll see you all in the next video.